Hello.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wolf Den Live, episode 43. The one where my stomach keeps growling for some reason, even though I just had dinner.
That's probably why.
That doesn't make sense.
You know what I need?
Full. What do you need?
Coffee. I'm dying.
Well, I don't understand why the family
There's
didn't get...
no coffee in the house.
There's no regular coffee.
It's
just
all decaf.
Mountains of decaf. Because we're the only ones who drink regular coffee.
It's like having
I
all
should,
almond joys after Halloween.
I should clarify, only you drink regular coffee. I'll have it like once in a blue moon.
Yes. I need it in my life.
I
I didn't have
am
it
a tea
yesterday, and I'm feeling it.
Oh, boy.
Feeling the withdrawals. So I'm cranky today.
That's not good.
It's that and because I'm just always cranky.
Yeah, sure.
How's it going, guys? Hello, Fred. Hello, Atten. Hello, DC. Hello, Ginger Ale. A lot of new guys here.
Yeah, Feistiest Ninja, Mike S.
Jeebus, I think.
Cavolt Fiction, I believe is how you pronounce your name.
Mike S.
Rhythm, Fusion Riptide.
Said Fred already.
Snow Haze. Emerald Jedi Knight.
And AJ.
Not to be confused with any other Jedi Knight. Freaks of Pokemon.
And Jose.
Who isn't a Pokemon freak in this day and age? I mean, let's be real here.
Guys, hello. We got some things to talk about. But first, we have an announcement
Yes.
that we both announced in our videos anyway. High CPU detected. I know. Shut up. Here it is. We have a new shirt. It's a campaign that's running through November. It will end on November 30th, I believe. That's like immediately after that Wolf Den Live.
Yeah.
Live and learn.
It's a reference.
On the edge of tomorrow.
Yes. On the words of yesterday. Yay.
Sonic Adventure 2.
Yes.
The Wolf Den logo and the Sonic Adventure 2 logo. It says Japanese, that's battle. It says battle in Japanese. I decided to leave that because I thought it was funny.
Well, it makes it authentic.
It makes it authentic.
Yeah.
It's a nice shirt. There is an alert. You know, I didn't test the alert.
No.
I should do that. There's an alert, so if you buy a shirt, it'll come up on stream live. And I might be able to read the names afterwards.
Very cool.
But
So
I will check. I will double check that.
The sale starts November 1st, right?
No, the sale is now.
Oh, it's now.
You can buy the shirt now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but it's a campaign, so you don't get the shirt until after the campaign's over.
Okay.
Or the campaign meets its goal.
Okay, so everybody go to our TeePublic store.
The link is in the description
Yes.
of this video.
Go out and buy the shirt. It will help us out a lot, and we'll be able to do more cool things. Not just shirts, but maybe even with the channel. Who knows?
And it'll look cool. You'll feel great.
Yeah.
How about that?
It'll be an exclusive reference that only you will get. And we all know references that only you get are the best kind of references.
Next is this Fantasy Movie League.
Yes.
All time overall, AJ's winning. How is AJ winning? That pisses me off. I don't like it. Then Bobby Beyonce, Gavin, Fernando, Skyplex. I'm like all the way down because I missed a week. And let's go to last week. Last week, AJ won. What is with Tyler Perry's movie? Tyler Perry's Boo. That's the name of the movie.
No, the name of the movie is Boo, a Medea Halloween something.
I just deleted the rest of that out of my memory. That's just completely useless information.
Look, man, Tyler Perry's movies, they're big deals. People love their Tyler Perry.
It did the best last weekend, and everybody who had I just didn't. It was expensive for the movie league. It had a big budget, so I was like, I'm not paying for that, and everybody put it in one. So AJ, Gavin, Bobby Beyonce, Louis, and Rael, they won last week. So if you don't know what the movie league is, what are you gonna say?
Boo, a Medea Halloween.
Anybody who doesn't know what the movie league is, every week you go to fantasymovieleague.com, you join our league. The link is also in the description of this video, and you make an account. Every week you pick what movies you think are going to do great, and we all compete against each other. And the winner of the whole thing gets a $100 Amazon gift card, and runner-ups get t-shirts from us of your choosing. Wolf Den t-shirts. So there you go. Timber says Tyler Perry sucks ass. It's the first thing I saw that caught my eye.
Yeah.
Yes.
What were you gonna say?
What were you gonna say?
Well, before we dive in, I just want to make a quick statement. I didn't get a chance to do a video on it, but I want to touch on it now. Recently, on October 22nd, artist Steve Dillon, best known for his work, especially with Garth Ennis on Hellblazer, Preacher, and The Punisher, passed away at the age of 54. I wasn't like the biggest fan of Steve Dillon. Like, I never followed his work, but I knew who he was, and I really appreciated his style and his the way he would tell the story. He had a very interesting look because it wasn't especially working with Garth Ennis. Garth Ennis is known for like his brutal and violent stuff, and Steve Dillon drew everybody with like puppy dog eyes, but like he made it work with all the horribleness going on in the story at hand. So
he's got John Romita style faces.
Yeah. So it's I don't actually know what he complications caused by a ruptured appendix. That's a shitty way to go. So yeah, I would highly recommend everybody go out and read anything Steve Dillon did on The Punisher, especially the Garth Ennis stuff. He recently rebooted The Punisher with Becky Cloonan this year, and that was an excellent series. So everybody go out and read as much Steve Dillon as you possibly can. Yeah. So now that we got the sadness out of the way.
And while you did that, I made sure our Twitch alerts work for our shirts.
Okay.
So if you buy a shirt, it should come up. Sometimes it's late. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Also, at the top of the hour,
yes.
we shall talk about PlayStation Plus and Xbox free games for the month of November.
Yeah, our monthly public service announcement where we remind you all that if you have Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus, they give you free games every month. And you should go and get them because free games is better than no games.
Yes. And they're free.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you're paying for them.
You're paying for the subscription service, but, if they're giving you games, take advantage of them. We got an interesting month this month.
So we got PlayStation Plus right here.
Yes.
Big one is Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Yes, on PlayStation 4, you can get Everybody's Gone to the Rapture and The Deadly Tower of Monsters.
I do not know what that is.
Neither do I. On PlayStation 3, you get Dirt 3 and Costume Quest 2. If people like racing games, really seem to like the Dirt series. It's like a consistent.
I've always wanted to play Dirt.
I think I have it on Xbox One. They gave it away, one of them, for free a while back. Haven't touched it. And then on Vita, you get Letter Quest Remastered, which is cross-buy with the PS4, and Pumped BMX Plus, which is cross-buy on PS3 and PS4.
So sick.
So
I didn't actually bring up Microsoft's game with gold.
I got them. And again, Microsoft's got some weird staggering of the games. So on Xbox One, Xbox Live Gold members can download Super Dungeon Brothers all month during November. So from November 1st to the end of the month. And then from November 16th to December 15th, Murdered Soul Suspect is free to download.
Which I heard is garbage.
I heard that too. I'm still interested to play it. I heard it has some interesting ideas. It's not good.
Right.
But I mean, if it's free, no harm, no foul.
It's different.
Yes. And on Xbox 360, which you can play on your Xbox One, these are backwards compatible with the Xbox One. You have Monkey Island Special Edition for the first half of the month, November 1st to the 15th. And then from November 15th to November 30th is Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which I recently bought for $6 on Amazon. So I'm so happy I now get it for free.
Did you buy a digital download code?
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, well,
it's all right. This happens. It's not the first time I bought a game and then they gave it away for free.
That game is one of the best DLCs of all time.
Yeah. So I'm happy I get to play it.
It is amazing. I recommend it to everybody who has an Xbox.
And if you don't want to wait, it is, I believe, $6 on Amazon.
Atten says Rapture sucked. Everybody's gone to the Rapture, he means.
I mean, it's one of those walking simulator games, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are either you love it or you hate it.
I was interested when that came out. I did not like Firewatch at all, so I probably won't like Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. But it interests me.
Mm-hmm.
Did the audio desync? We got some stream problems, I think.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. Right.
So yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's nothing really exciting me on the PlayStation side. I mean, on the Xbox side, I have Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, so there's that. Is this the original Monkey Island, or is this one of the Telltale ones? Because I'm playing Telltale's Batman right now. I just finished
Telltale
episode
did
3.
Monkey Island?
They did the original Monkey Island was LucasArts, and then Telltale did like a more recent version. So Let me see that, and then I'm gonna play at least a little bit of Murdered Soul Suspect just to see what it's all about.
It's free.
Yeah, it is. So not a big deal. No, I think this is the original LucasArts. Yeah, the original LucasArts Monkey Island.
Wow, look at those pixels.
It's the special edition version, so it's all redone in HD and whatnot. But be careful, because it's rated E10 for alcohol references, crude humor, suggestive themes, tobacco references, and mild animated violence.
How dare they?
Yeah.
Hide your kids.
Hide your wife.
All right.
Hi, Bobby.
I want to start with Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
I will start by saying that in my video that I put up on Tuesday, that I wrote on Saturday, recorded it on Sunday, and then edited it on Monday.
Right.
And it came out on Tuesday. I talked about how the Switch is definitely going to be backwards compatible with 3DS games. And on Monday night, Tuesday-ish,
yeah,
a Nintendo representative was asked if it's going to be backwards compatible with 3DS games, and he said no.
Well, he said it's not going to be backwards compatible with physical,
with the cartridges,
3DS games. That's a big difference.
Right, it is. You're right.
So
I also don't believe him. I think that it totally still will, because those cartridges look exactly like 3DS cartridges.
I don't know. It's interesting because, I mean, technically the 3DS and the Wii U are backwards compatible with, the NES, but through digital download.
Right.
So I'm sure it'll be possible for...
He said there's no comment about digital downloads. He didn't comment on
Well, there's no comment on like anything. We still don't know if it's going to have a touchscreen or not.
That's why it's surprising that he gave a comment on that, whether or not it was physically going to be backwards
I wouldn't
compatible.
be surprised if the cartridges are different in some capacity.
Yeah, well...
Because they have to be. I mean, if theoretically, if it's going to have Skyrim on it, which is like multiple gigs of a game...
I definitely believe that they're going to be bigger capacity.
Yeah.
I am not sure that I believe that they're not backwards compatible. Like, look at DS to 3DS. 3DS's cartridges were bigger, but it was still backwards compatible.
3DS... Oh, you're talking about size.
I'm talking about the actual...
Like the capacity of
the...
Yeah. Because I was going to say, they're the exact same cartridge, they just put a little nub on it.
That is also what they did between Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
Yes.
They took
the little indent of the cartridge out.
Yeah. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be something like that.
I don't know.
Something so you can't put those games in a 3DS.
I would not be surprised if if it's a completely different cartridge format altogether, but somewhere down the line you can download 3DS games and play them on your Nintendo Switch. Much like you can download Game Boy Advance games onto your 3DS.
Right.
So, I mean, that I can see happening. I feel like Nintendo definitely wants a clean break from their past consoles, and they're probably going to phase out the 3DS slowly over time.
I think next year is it for the 3DS.
You think next year is for the 3DS?
Next holiday season, they'll have like a couple games. Mm-hmm. After that, done.
Because I know next year is definitely it for the Wii U.
Yeah.
Like this year practically is it for the Wii U.
I have more on that too.
Yeah. But I definitely feel like they're taking everything in a completely new direction. Because remember, everybody keeps talking about it. That reveal video with no kids, and 3DS is still very much a kid system.
I think that I'm reiterating, but I think that they just did that because kids. You don't need to show kids that it's for kids.
I'm a little upset because last week they revealed an Amazon exclusive 3DS with Super Mario World pre-installed, and it's like this ugly lime green color, and I kind of wanted it. But now they announced the Switch, and so I guess I gotta wait and see what's going on. Because really, I just wanted it to play Super Nintendo games, and hopefully the Switch will have Super Nintendo games on it.
Definitely. It'll be huge.
Yeah.
Probably beautiful. I also noted in my video that I think this thing's... When we did our little discussion, I said about 8 or 9 inches.
Yeah.
I think 7.
For the screen?
Yeah, because the Kindle Fire, our little Kindle Fire thing.
People are getting lag.
I just checked, and it says good. It says the stream's good. I'm getting lag too, but it says it's fine. So, I don't know.
Okay.
Sometimes it lags, and then the after part, like after it goes live. After it goes archived, sometimes it's fine. I don't know. YouTube gaming sometimes ain't the best. You know what? Maybe I can up the bitrate. I'll play with that in a minute. But yeah, I put my hands on it, and it I think that it looks bigger than it actually is in the trailer, because people's hands aren't that big.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's a prototype.
Right.
What we saw is definitely a prototype. So I'm sure by the time it actually comes out in March, we'll see a much more refined look to everything. The weird controller, the docking system, and we'll definitely have like specs on the screen itself.
Right. Speaking of the Wii U being totally canned next year, Nintendo had an earnings call last night.
Those are always fun.
I love those.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about one right now. This article is from Polygon. Nintendo reports huge quarterly loss amid plummeting Wii U sales. I did not actually read this article. I only heard about little stuff. Yeah. So we're going to read it together.
All right.
First quarter of Nintendo's current fiscal year wasn't pretty, as a massive drop in Wii U sales led to a significant decrease in sales and an operating loss of 5.13 billion yen, or $48 million. The company said today in an earnings report, which was yesterday, I think. Net sales for the quarter, which ran from April 1st through June 30th, totals $587 million, a drop of 31.3% compared to the same period in 2015. Nintendo attributed its massive operating loss partly to a strong Japanese yen, the appreciation of which caused exchange losses totaling 35 billion yen, or $332 million. Lots of numbers here.
Yeah.
Poor hardware performance also contributed to Nintendo's troubles in the quarter. Wii U sales were anemic at just 220,000 units worldwide. That's it.
That's
for a whole quarter.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's pretty bad.
A 53% year-over-year drop, meaning the company sold less than half as many Wii U consoles as in the same period a year ago. That is terrible. Nintendo 3DS sales dropped by 7% to 940,000 units, which is interesting because I thought that those went up. I don't know if it's going to say it here, but they attribute that to there not being any Wii U games, because there aren't any new Wii U games right now. But I thought 3DS sales went up when Pokemon Go came out, because everybody was buying Pokemon games.
Might have been, yeah.
That's interesting, because that's the same quarter, right? This quarter,
I think so.
April 1st through June 30th. No, when did Pokemon Go come out? June, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so at the end. Oh, it was the tail end. So it must have trickled into the next quarter.
Yeah.
The news wasn't all bad. Software sales were up in the first quarter on both 3DS and Wii U. Nintendo released Fire Emblem Fates in Europe and Bravely Second End Layer in the US during the quarter. The company said both titles got off to a good start, and that the global release of Kirby Planet Robo, which I really want to play, resulted in steady sales.
Pokemon Go was July, according to the chat.
I get those 2 months confused with each other. Okay, so this doesn't include that. I thought this did, though.
I don't know. You're the quarterly earnings guy.
Oh, my God, Will.
What?
The whole time?
What?
This article is from July. Well, now we know about their last quarterly earnings.
Welcome to the Wulff Den, your one-stop shop for accurate and timely news source.
Son of a bitch. I was reading the Wall Street Journal one, and it was long and boring. And
because it's the Wall Street Journal.
It was way too many numbers and not like gaming focused like Polygons would be. So I switched to Polygon, and this is the shit I get. Polygon, Nintendo earnings. Maybe this time we'll do it right. Pokemon Go props up a lackluster quarter for Nintendo. The right one now. It says our stream's still good, so.
Yeah, there were some people complaining about buffering and lagging issue. We've been having a lot of internet problems in this house.
Yeah.
I'd
recommend lowering the quality.
Yeah, give that a shot. Maybe watch us in 480.
Yeah.
P.
Nintendo posted its earnings over this is the right one, right? This came out October 26th.
Yes, that's the right one.
Nintendo posted its earnings over the last 6 months today, reporting losses across the board as Wii U and Nintendo 3DS sales continued to decline. Despite overall sales figures heading south through the end of September, the success of Pokemon Go and the company's recent sale of its stake in the Seattle Mariners helped Nintendo still turn a profit. So this makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Its long-standing relationship with the Pokemon Company, which had huge success with July's launch of Pokemon Go, helped Nintendo garner an additional 12 billion yen, about 115 million in profit. That's just from the minority stake the company has in the free-to-play mobile game. And Nintendo asserted after its release that any gains the company would see from Pokemon Go's profit would have a limited effect on its bottom line. That's when their stock shot up when Pokemon Go came up. And then they said, we don't really have anything to do with that. And then it plummeted. Letting go of the Seattle Mariners also helped Nintendo's quarterly income. Nintendo paid $125 million for the baseball team in 1992 and maintains a 10% stake. When it sold off the majority of its shares in the Mariners by mid-August, Nintendo reported a $661 million profit. They made over $500 million on the Seattle Mariners.
Wow.
On that investment. These are the two biggest wins in an otherwise desperate earnings report. Wii U hardware sales decreased by 53% year over year, which is insane, while software dropped by 33% on Nintendo 3DS. I'm sorry. On Nintendo 3DS, the declines were smaller, and software posted minute gains over the same period in 2015, thanks to million-seller Kirby Planet Robo, again with that game, and the continued strength of the Pokemon games. Sales of the popular Amiibo line of figures also declined, as did those of downloadable content. They're attributing a lot of losses to the fact that nobody's buying Amiibo anymore. And that they say that's because people aren't buying the games that
well, there are no games for people to buy.
That, and also, it's more people buy those because they're cool looking.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, too, they released all the Animal Crossing ones, and nobody knows those characters. No one cares about those characters.
That's true. Yeah.
So
only people who play Animal
Crossing,
and they have the cards too.
Yeah.
Overall, the company suffered an operating loss of $56 million over the 6-month period, which isn't bad compared to the last loss that we just saw.
Yeah.
Compared to the profits this time last year. This continues from its financial report in July, which also saw big sales drops and disappointing hardware sales across the board. Wait, I want to see what that loss was, because I thought that was more. Actually, this loss is more. That loss was 48 million. This is 56 million. The hope is that the company's new hardware will contribute to a rosier picture as next year approaches. The Nintendo Switch isn't expected to launch until March 2017. However, right at the end of the fiscal year. I don't know why they do that, but that's what they do. Company president Tatsumi Kimishima told Japanese press today that shipments will top out around 2 million through the end of March, which I thought was very interesting, while reiterating that no more news on price, technical specifications, or software is coming. So, 2 million shipments. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's really small.
The PlayStation 4 sold 1 million units in its first day.
Yeah.
And they want to sell 2 million in their first shipment. They want to ship 2 million to stores, which is nothing. So that's like for the month of March, they're going to have 2 million.
I think they're trying to like keep, realistic figure, right? Because with the Wii U, they say like, "Oh, we'll sell 9 million units in a month," and everybody's like, "No, you've only sold like 10." So I think they're trying to be a lot more conservative, a lot more realistic with what they put out there, and see if there, is a demand for what they're selling.
When this thing comes out, people are gonna say that Nintendo is trying to short ship.
Which they've done before. But I feel like in this situation, is this just them like testing the market?
Yeah, because they need to. They don't want, because if they ship out 9 million units, they're going to have a huge loss.
Yeah.
If there's an issue, you're right. They are testing the waters. They say that Breath of the Wild, the next Zelda game, that is expected to sell 2 million units, I think, in its entire life.
Yeah.
Which is also insanely low. But yeah, they're keeping very bearish numbers, as Colin Moriarty would say. Also, I forgot what it was. I think the 3DS. It was in the Wall Street Journal one. Oh, let me see. 3DS.
He's really got the Wall Street Journal up here.
I do. For Nintendo, the Pokemon impact went beyond the smartphone game. The company's Mr. Kimishima said many consumers picked up Nintendo's aging handheld 3DS device to play older Pokemon games, and pre-orders were strong for new 3DS Pokemon games coming in November. Nintendo said it expected to sell 6 million 3DS units in the year ending March 2017, up from an earlier forecast of 5 million. Now, I thought that was interesting because in its entire life, the Wii U has sold 6 million units in North America. And worldwide, they want to sell 6 million in one fiscal year
of 3DS. Yeah. Well, I mean, 3DS is a system that can do it. It's a more popular system. Everybody has it.
So. In North America, then 3DS sold 19 million.
Yeah.
Worldwide, it sold 60 million in its life. So, yeah, it could do it.
Yeah.
But I also think it's interesting that the Wall Street Journal called the Wii U their flagship console.
Technically, it should be. The home console is typically the flagship.
It should be, but it's not.
Yeah.
I also think it's interesting that no matter how much I try, no matter how much I say that the Switch or the NX is not competing against the PS4 and the Xbox One, everybody always comments they gotta put Though I want to be able to play my Call of Duties and Battlefield.
And everybody's freaking out that Skyrim was in the preview.
Right.
I mean, because, as much as people will say, oh, Nintendo's not competing with Sony and Microsoft, yeah, they are. they totally and 100% are. They are a video game maker, and they made a video game console that you put under your TV, you connect to your TV, you play video games on it, and it's competing for space against what Microsoft puts out and what Sony puts out.
I completely disagree because they're companions. They live alongside each other. You don't get
That's what they've become.
right.
They've become companions
Ever since the GameCube.
No, because the GameCube was still competing for space.
I mean, like
after games. So since the Wii,
yes,
yeah, since the Wii, it's become companion. But the thing is, the Wii U was a step towards trying to get back to being competition because they launched with all those hardcore games, like
I disagree.
Real Mass Effect 3, a real Assassin's Creed, a real Batman, real Call of Duty.
The problem is
not pared down ports.
The problem is that they marketed it with a lot of third-party support, and then they lost a lot of third-party support.
Yeah, because it wasn't selling.
Right.
Because they were putting out games that everybody already has.
And they launched the Wii U with similar graphics to the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 at the end of those life cycles.
Yeah.
Which was a bad move. But I mean, the Wii U was a failure. That was a huge misstep in a lot of ways. But I say this all the time. Sony's worldwide president, the hell's his name? Shuhei Yoshida.
Yeah.
Says we need Nintendo to bring in the kids. When they're older, they get PlayStations. So that's where they're at in the market, and that's why the Switch is such a good idea, because they're in a completely different space now. They're not even near Xbox or PlayStation now. Their device is so different.
Their device is so different, but at the same time, there's no denying that it's still primarily a video game system.
Yes, it is a video game system. But in the same way that an iPad can be a video game system, in the same way that your PC can be a video game system.
Can be a video game system. It's not necessarily
You're right.
The Nintendo Switch is primarily a video game system, much like the Xbox One is primarily a video game system and the PS4 is primarily a video game system.
But they're not mobile game systems.
And Nintendo's not selling the Switch as a mobile game system. They're selling it as a console first that you can happen to take on the go.
Right, and I don't like that. I think that is their major selling point, is that you can take this thing wherever you want.
That is a major selling point.
That is the biggest difference.
Yeah.
There is no reason why I would want this instead of an Xbox. There is no reason for that.
Well, you might, not to say you'd play Skyrim, but like if you play a game like Skyrim and you're playing it, on the Switch, and you can take it on the go with you. I mean, that's a great luxury. I mean, that's better than what's remote play that Sony has. That will work better than playing a game on your PS4 to your Vita. That will probably work better than Xbox Play Anywhere.
There's a class action lawsuit against Sony because they marketed the Vita as a device that can do that.
Yeah.
That works in conjunction with a PlayStation 3, and you can play any game that you want on the go. You can just pick it up and keep playing, and that wasn't the case. It only worked with like MLB The Show.
Yeah.
So they got sued, and anybody who owned a Vita in the beginning was entitled to like $20.
I missed that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my NX talk.
Okay.
I guess. Oh, and I was expecting the stock to go up after the NX reveal, and it tanked. It tanked like hard. This is the lowest it's been like all month. But get ready for that Super Mario Run.
Yeah, that'll bring everything.
Buy Nintendo stock now. Fred says, not much, Bob. Effed up, but mostly NX talk.
Tevia joined late and asked what.
Okay. I just saw you said Bob effed up, so I didn't see. Can you talk to the chat for a minute while I try to raise our bit rate, maybe?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Let's see what's up with the bit rate.
Let's see what we got here. It's mostly people talking about the lag. And hockey talk. I didn't know hockey started. What do we got here? Frostbite says the iPhone 7 is officially a fail. I don't know if it's technically a fail. Apple's sales are down for the first time in like 15 years. But I mean, Apple's sales are down is like nothing compared to like when another company's sales are down. I'm sure they'll be okay. What else is there? I guess people want me to talk about Mockingbird. I didn't really know people cared. So Mockingbird issue 8 came out. It was the last issue in the run of Mockingbird, Marvel's Mockingbird series. And the writer whose name escapes me at the time, Chelsea Kane, quit Twitter over it because everybody was throwing really harsh and really offensive words towards her because it came out that a book starring a strong female protagonist was feminist propaganda. And it didn't help that, it didn't help. I think the cover is hysterical. Mockingbird is wearing a shirt that says, "Let me tell you about my feminist agenda."
LOL.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny. I mean, if you don't agree with the politics of Mockingbird, let's say, that's fine. That's great. Good for you. Don't get mad at the writer on Twitter. Don't harass her.
Don't read it if you don't agree.
Yeah. The problem is, and before she quit, she said this, because she was a best-selling author, like of real books before this. And she said,
excuse me.
She said, it wasn't until I started writing comics that I start getting this kind of harassment. Like, that's a problem. Like, that's a really big problem. And Brian Michael Bendis is like trying to say, like, oh, it's not comics' fault. Like, well, it's not the medium's fault, but it's the toxic environment that's being bred by the fan base. It might be a vocal minority, but it's still there, and it's enough to get people to leave Twitter. That's a problem. Like, I don't care where you fall. Like, that's a problem. Don't do that. If you don't like what a writer has to say, that's fine. Don't tell them to kill themselves, especially if it's a woman.
I don't like these people quitting Twitter. Like, you don't like what the internet has to say? You're a public figure. Like, it'd be like us closing our comment section because it's always, people disagreeing with us.
No, like, there reaches a point. Like, everybody's human. Like, people can only take so much abuse. I mean, if it was me, I would have stuck it out. But then again, it wasn't me.
Here's an interesting thing.
What?
YouTube says we're not. This is from like 20 minutes ago, so it's not happening anymore. We're not receiving video data at a fast enough rate. Your viewers may experience buffering. Ensure your connection is fast enough, or consider using a lower bit rate. I just raised the bit rate by 1,000, so maybe I should lower it.
I always tell you lowering the bit rate helps, and you never listen to me.
You didn't say this time. I said, well, I'm going to raise the bit rate.
Because I gave up trying to tell you how to work the stream. It's not like that was my job for like 7 years, is figuring out how streaming videos worked.
I'm lowering
it. Brothers. I got topics. Should I just go into one?
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to talk about Deadpool in the comments? Everybody? Okay. So it was recently announced that Tim Miller, the director of the Deadpool movie, everybody's favorite comic book movie from this year, is quitting the sequel. He's not going to work on it. And apparently the
Blur Studios guy.
The Blur Studios guy. And apparently the reason why he is leaving is because he had a creative dispute with Ryan Reynolds. According to The Wrap, Miller's leaving had to do with the director wanting a much more stylized action sequel, while Reynolds wanted to stick to the humor-based tone of the first one. A lot of humor covered the very small budget that Deadpool had. According to reports released over the weekend, the final straw came over the casting of Cable. Tim Miller wanted Kyle Chandler to be Cable, and Ryan Reynolds objected, and the studio sided with Reynolds.
Right.
Now it's come to light that it wasn't just Ryan Reynolds that was against Tim Miller's decisions, but also the screenwriters Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. And that's the whole, Tim Miller's vision of a more stylized Deadpool movie meant that he wanted a budget 3 times that of the first Deadpool movie. So the first Deadpool movie had a $58 million budget, and Tim Miller wanted 3 times that to, I guess, put it in line with other comic book movies that, come out because they all cost like 200
Honestly, I
million
don't blame them. It made so much money.
Right. I mean, on the one hand, yes, it's tradition. Like when a sequel, when a movie does good and it's time for the sequel gets a lot more money. And I'm sure that Deadpool 2, regardless of who's going to wind up directing it, is going to have a bigger budget than the first one. And, it sucks that Tim Miller is leaving because, if you ask me, he had a lot to do with that movie being what it was.
Blur Studios makes the best video game trailers out there.
Bar none.
Check out their reel.
Well, not just like with the video game trailers, but like when you hear like Tim Miller talk about what it took to get this film made and like how like he had to make a lot of creative sacrifice. Like the scene at the end where Deadpool forgets the guns in the taxi. They had to write that in because they couldn't afford to do a gunfight. That's why they did that.
Oh my god.
So it's just things like that help make a movie as good as it can be. And also things too, like Tim Miller found ways to sneak in Marvel references that he couldn't legally do. Like the end scene takes place on a decommissioned SHIELD helicarrier, even though they can't call it that. Hydra Bob is in the movie, even though they can't call him Hydra Bob. So, it's little touches like that a director adds to a film. And, removing Tim Miller is going to, I feel will remove a lot of those little personal touches, which is going to suck. I mean, hopefully, the writers are still going to be there and Ryan Reynolds is still going to be there. And, Ryan Reynolds is probably just as big of a part of Deadpool being what it is as anybody. He championed that movie ever since the first Wolverine came out. So I don't think Deadpool should have as big as a budget as like a Marvel film or Batman vs Superman or anything like that. I think having a smaller budget helps, specifically for a character like Deadpool. But at the same time, it just sucks that they couldn't reach an agreement, to keep the whole band together. Because now, who knows who's going to get brought in to be director. And it can go one of two ways. It can be okay, or it can ruin everything.
I don't blame Tim Miller wanting a bigger budget. I mean, 3 times is a lot, but I don't blame him wanting a bigger budget for, he wants to make the movie that he, like he wants to be able to have the creative freedom to do what he's got to do to make a superhero movie. He doesn't want to be limited like he was in the last one.
Right.
He was probably, like you said, he had take a lot of sacrifices.
And they slashed his budget like a lot.
Yeah.
Like 58 million, like it was a lot more than that before Fox decided to slash his budget.
So why, like, what does Ryan Reynolds want to do with that money otherwise? Or the studio or whatever.
Well, and the studio probably wants to save money.
Right.
And they're going to side with Ryan Reynolds because he's the face of the franchise.
So what does he want to do with the money? Keep it, probably.
Well, I think he
deserves a lot of it, to be fair.
I think Ryan Reynolds just feels like they can just do what they did with the first movie again.
Right.
Which may or may not be true. Tim Miller wanted to take the series in another direction. I think he wanted to, bring it more in line with the bigger budget superhero films of today. But I don't think that's necessarily a good idea for a character like Deadpool. Deadpool should be different, very different.
I mean, I liked how guerrilla it was.
Yeah,
but there was only 2 fight scenes.
Yeah,
like 2 real fight scenes. Like 2 real big ones. So needs to be a little more of that.
Yeah,
that was a little much.
So I mean, here's hoping everything works out with Deadpool. Tim Miller already has like projects lined up. One of them at Fox, so it's not like he had a bad falling out with the studio. So I don't know. I just hope.
I hope he gets to make a lot more movies.
Yeah, I hope he finally gets to make that Goon movie.
He wants to make a Goon movie.
Yeah, I helped kickstart that movie.
That was his.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, the Goon, which is probably the best comic Dark Horse ever put out, had a Kickstarter to do an animatic for an animated movie.
The Kickstarter was to just do an animatic?
Yes.
Wow.
But it was an animatic of the whole movie. To pitch it, yeah.
Animated, like CGI.
Yeah, CGI. Okay. Because the problem is there's not a lot of like market for a rated R big budget CGI movie, even though they had the guy who directed Fight Club, David Fincher, like as the producer.
And now you got Deadpool and you got Sausage Party.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that would have been a great movie. Dominic asks, what are your guys' picks for Miller's replacement? There's a petition going around to try and get Quentin Tarantino to direct Deadpool 2. Don't sign that petition. Quentin Tarantino, A, wouldn't want to do it. B, that would not be a good Deadpool movie. That would be a Quentin Tarantino movie. You know, and we don't want that. We want a Deadpool movie. Just because, you know, he has a lot of F words and funny bits and blood and violence in his movies doesn't mean he'd be good for Deadpool.
Super Luigi says, takes a lot of talent to make a good film on a low budget, which leads to a bigger budget to allow them to do what they want next time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's typically how it goes. You get a bigger budget for the next one. You prove yourself in the first one, get a bigger budget for the next one.
This just in, Nintendo of America tweeted, learn more about Nintendo's new home gaming system at the Nintendo Switch presentation streamed live on January 12th.
That's so far away. And they call it home gaming system.
Yes.
God, I hate them. Do what you like. God, do you like money?
I honestly don't think it's a bad idea to like call it a home gaming system because you know, if you call it a handheld,
call it a hybrid.
Well, there's the thing. Like, if you call it a handheld, you know, people have this preconceived notion that handhelds are less powerful.
How about just gaming system?
Well, because if you say it's the home gaming system... How about
just gaming system?
If you call it a home gaming system, that, like, will say like, this can be your main gaming system. This is your primary gaming system. Look, it can run Skyrim. And Ches Nords, it'll probably be able to run Crysis, as you asked in the comments.
But I don't... Like, it's not your main gaming system. It's not.
But no matter how much people say that, Nintendo want it to be. You know that. You know that's true.
It is not true. They want it to be like the Wii. They don't want you buying it. They want mom buying it.
No, because if they wanted mom buying it, they would have put a mom in the...
That's true.
In the commercial.
That's
and
true.
They didn't. They put hip millennials in the commercial, having their hip millennial rooftop parties, which we all have. Nintendo got it right. We're always hanging out on rooftops.
I thought it was funny because she opens the window and from across the window they're like, "Hey, come over." Somebody was like, "Oh, that's the invite system."
Yeah, I heard that.
They have crappy.
Apparently, that girl is like now an internet celebrity.
That one?
The girl with the bob haircut. Yeah.
The bob haircut, nice. That's some good tail in that video. Will, gotta tell you,
not
some nice babes.
Not what I was going for, but okay.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
And real quick, the working title for Deadpool 2 is Love Machine.
I'm into that.
Yep.
With Cable.
Yeah.
Love Machine featuring Cable.
Well, now that we've outed that all millennials have rooftop parties, what else you got?
Let me just say that AJ says, I think spending that much more money on SFX is missing the forest for the trees. The smart tweaks to, I think he means VFX.
Yeah. Well, no, special effects.
I read that as sound effects. Or enough, but I can't see a bigger special effects being as big of a deal as steering into humor. Yeah, but I mean, you know,
it's very weird, like how much like is a special effect in movies and how much isn't. Like the scenes in Deadpool of Reynolds like lifting his mask up to like just to talk from like the mouth down. That's all CGI.
His mouth?
Yeah, like they didn't just have him lift up the thing. Like they had him lift the thing up and then CGI'd everything down here.
Why?
I don't know. Like you'd be amazed at like what's CGI.
I know he has mocap things on his eyes.
Yeah,
because his eyes were.
But a good example this just came out in The Force Awakens, the scene where Kylo Ren is talking to Snoke for the first time. That his mask is CGI.
Kylo Ren's mask.
Yeah, because they originally filmed it with him not wearing the mask, because that scene was supposed to come later in the movie. But then when they changed around the order of the film, they had to put his mask back on.
Interesting. There's a lot of weird CGI. Like, I think a good example is what's that movie? Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
There's like an insane amount of CGI in that movie.
Yeah.
And it's not a crazy special effects driven movie.
Yeah. A good example of that, David Fincher, speaking of David Fincher, his movie Zodiac is like 90% green screen. It's crazy.
We got
all that being said, Batman's cape should not be CGI.
We gotta stop.
Okay.
Do you have anything important? Leave your comments in the chat right now. We will talk to you right now.
I don't know if you want to go over this, but GameStop is now accepting retro games.
They have
system. This is now nationwide.
Okay.
And it's a lot more than they used to, because now it's pretty much everything.
Okay.
Now it's NES, Super NES, N64, GameCube, Game Boy Color, Genesis, Saturn, Dreamcast, PS1, GBA, original Xbox.
Now, they used to sell this stuff only online.
Yeah, but now like they're accepting trade-ins and purchases in store.
So you can buy this stuff in the store.
Yes.
That's awesome. Maybe I'll go to GameStop now.
Yeah. Just buyer beware, because I know they don't do good checks with what they get in.
Right. They're not testing these games.
Yeah, no. They say they're sending them back to like their refurbished facilities to check, but a lot of times they don't come back. Like, there have been horror stories of people ordering classic games and they come back like the wrong game, or it's a reproduction, or you know, the game just doesn't work, or things like that.
I took back a Game Boy Advance game once that was a complete bootleg.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I also heard that there's a list. They don't take every game.
Yeah,
they have a specific list of games that they take.
I don't think they're taking in like rare games.
Rare games? Like really rare games?
Like really rare games.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think they're taking.
Why wouldn't they want that?
Because they would have to sell them for like, they would have to first buy them back for like a couple $100, and then like sell them again for a couple $100.
That's dumb.
It looks like everything they're taking in though. Wow, Super Mario Sunshine for pre-owned for $35.
That's good.
Really?
I think that's good. Let's look on Amazon.
Super Smash Bros. Melee pre-owned for $55. That's
honestly
more than when it
right.
came up. When it came
Sounds
out.
about right.
An N64 system for $80. That's more than
a lot.
A GameCube system for $60.
Super Mario Sunshine, new and used from Amazon, from $43.35.
Wow. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for $20. Metroid Prime for $10.
You get a Japanese import of Super Mario Sunshine for $28.
Yeah, but then it won't play in their American GameCube.
That's true.
An NES controller for $5.
Nice. Just get a handful of those.
Yeah. Which won't work on your NES Classic, which you still can't pre-order. All right, yeah, so that's...
All right, guys, what you got for us? Oh, let me pull up last... So there's a couple ways you can talk to us. You can leave it in the chat, just like we've been doing. You can tweet us with the hashtag WolfDenLive, or you can go to last week's goddamn Wolf Den video on YouTube. Leave a comment there, and we will answer you in the next podcast, just like we will right now whenever I click the freaking link.
Why did it send me to Wolf Den Live hashtags from back in August?
Because it's stupid and dumb, and Twitter's stupid. Kai Williams commented on last week's Wolf Den Live 43 minutes ago, so he knew what the deal was. He knew that we would read this first.
Yeah.
Will, with X-23 in Logan, what are your thoughts on the cartoon X-Men Evolution where she first appeared?
A lot of people didn't like X-Men Evolution. I thought it was pretty good. It was very of its time, and I don't necessarily agree with making every single X-Men a literal teenager except for Storm and Wolverine for some reason. But it wasn't bad, you know, and I thought adding X-23 to the show was a really good, interesting twist. And, you know, the fact that she was popular enough to get to the comics speaks volumes for the idea of the character. So yeah, X-Men Evolution was pretty good. It got weird in spots, but I don't have bad feelings towards that show.
Fred asks, if you guys were stuck on a desert island, who would you want to be with from these groups? A, former president, a comic book character, no reality warpers, so I guess you can't leave the island, a video game character, and a One Piece character. God damn it. What a troll. I guess we need to pick one from each group.
I guess.
All right, former president.
Probably Roosevelt because he's a survivalist.
Yes, Teddy Roosevelt. Absolutely. Comic book character, Batman. 100%.
Superman.
Superman?
He would get you off the island. Actually, no. Green Arrow. Because he has experience living on a deserted island.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Video game character, Nathan Drake.
Lara Croft.
Fine, Lara Croft. At least we get some eye candy. Anyway, and a One Piece character, the one with the straw hat, because I literally don't know any other One Piece characters.
Yeah, what he said.
And Aaron asks, have either of you seen Nightwing, the series by Ismahawk? No, I have not, but I
saw a little bit of it. It's pretty good.
I saw the Voltron versus Power Rangers. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's not by Ismahawk. There's another Nightwing web series. I think it's called Earth One, where he's like a grunge goth rocker. That was weird.
Fred also asks on Twitter using the hashtag WolfDenLive, Will, would you make a live-action punk rock Jesus, and who would you cast?
I would love to make a live-action punk rock Jesus. Oh God,
I think that would make a really good anime.
That would actually. Now I think about it, I don't know who I would cast. I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to come back to that. Maybe I'll write a blog post about it.
Justin Colley, our favorite Brit, says, if you had to pick a comic book character or video game character, who would you be and why? And FFs don't say Lara. I guess we can't be Lara Croft. Is that what he's saying?
I guess. Well, where does it say that?
Right there. He doesn't want us touching our own boobies, Will.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I've said this before because I did a video on if you could be a comic book character, which one could you be? Nightwing. There you go.
Nightwing?
Yeah.
Why? You want to touch your own butt?
Yes. No, pretty much all the best parts about Batman with none of the depression.
That is very good. What about video game or video game character? Jeez. I don't know. All of the cool ones have like really damaging pests.
No, I would want to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
You would want to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
I would totally want to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's actually a really good pick. That is a really
I
good
don't
pick.
care. I want to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
He's got a pretty good life.
He does. You just go fast and eat chili dogs all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Bang whoever you want. Whatever animal or human, nothing matters in the Sonic realm.
That's not canon anymore.
It sure is. It absolutely is.
All right. Moving on to YouTube. Gilbert, Will, as someone who has not read a comic since July, what should I start off with, or am I just screwed and have to wait for the next event? No, it is never too late. You're not too far behind. DC Rebirth, still pretty early in the game. They just started new story arcs on Batman and Detective Comics. Definitely check those out. Trinity, the book with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman is still really early. Highly recommend that. And what the hell was the other book that just came out and I was really interested in? There's 2 Image books. One is Killer Be Killed by Ed Brubaker. Always read whatever Ed Brubaker writes. And I don't know the creative team on it, but Surgeon X, about a dystopia where the medical industry is really bad. Check that
out. Super Luigi says, can you play PlayStation VR for long gaming sessions? No, you can't.
Have you tried for longer than like 20 minutes? Or
I haven't tried since that first day, honestly, to actually play games. But I was starting to feel it after a while. I just wouldn't recommend it. Don't play for more than like 2 hours. 2 hours is like an absolute cap, and you need you need to take breaks, but try not to take the headset off too much because if you're in 3D and you go out of 3D, you'll start to get weird.
Yeah.
So you feel a similar feeling when you're using the 3DS in 3D and you keep looking away.
Let's see. I just had it. Mid Games 13. Do you like the Switch having cartridges instead of DVDs or PSP discs?
Definitely don't want PSP discs.
Yeah, well, no discs in general.
Yeah.
Because if it is going to be portable in any capacity, you don't want moving parts. Because, that'll get messed up and travel. Also, it's a drain on battery life.
I honestly would have preferred it to be 100% digital.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's even necessary to have cartridges at all.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
I guess it's something physical for your parents to buy you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're going to get rid of physical media, especially with video games, for a while. So,
Green Retro Man, I think he asked what the Nintendo conspiracy is. Nothing. I just thought that was a good title. The conspiracy is that it's freaking backwards compatible with 3DS games, and they said that it's not. That's a conspiracy.
The Feistiest Ninja. Hey, does anybody know if the Ninja Turtles, Batman, and Ghostbusters crossovers are out of continuity? Because I'm only up to issue 28, and I don't want anything spoiled. Okay, fun fact. The Ninja Turtles Ghostbusters crossover is in continuity with the IDW Ninja Turtles and IDW Ghostbusters. That is an in-canon thing that happened. The Batman one, I don't know. I would not be surprised if it's in canon with the Ninja Turtle series because everything's in canon with that series. It's incredible, how much they put out for that book.
People are garbaging over my digital only thing. Everybody wants physical. I love physical. I buy everything physical as much as possible, but I want to be forced to buy digital.
I forced myself to go digital with my Xbox One.
I can't do it because I like seeing it on my shelf like an idiot. But
my only problem with going digital is that I'm forced to rely on the Xbox Live Marketplace, and they do not have sales very often. And if they do, they're not great.
Yeah, Nintendo's not going to be good with that.
Yeah, Nintendo's going to be awful with that.
Digital only. I am pulling up my iPad so that I can pull up the shirt one more time. I'm going to leave it up while we talk. Mm-hmm. The link is in the description of this video. You can buy this shirt. The campaign will run through November. It is $20, and we have plenty of great colors. I prefer this royal heather. I also like the charcoal heather.
Yeah,
I got you the charcoal heather.
Yes,
I got myself a royal heather because I kind of want to see what it looks like in real life.
Yeah, I almost wanted one of the blue shirts, but I surprisingly have a lot of blue shirts.
Yeah, I don't have this one looked real nice and colorful.
Yeah.
So I want to also ours are going to be different because I have to halftone it, put the dots on it because if it reaches its campaign goal, we get to halftone. I mean, we get to screen print it and it's going to be much better quality. Yeah. So please reach the goal so we can get you an awesome quality shirt.
Xander Wise on Twitter asked, I've been wondering what are your thoughts on DK3 so far? That book, I haven't read it, but from what I've gathered, that book started off really strong and then nosedived into nonsense and lunacy. So I will definitely check that out when it's all done, because I want to see where this went. But I don't know. I was not a supporter of that book when they announced it. I don't think they should revisit the Dark Knight universe.
Bob Hargan something asks, he says, I really wonder what it would be like with Dark Souls 3. Probably awful. I assume he means the NX. Why would it be awful? It would probably be just fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless, he's thinking about holding the controller in one hand and then the other.
Yeah, just don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Just don't do that. And it'll probably play exactly like Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to play games like that portably. That'd be great. But again, buying this thing, playing my Marios, and my Zeldas that I'm never gonna play. I'm never gonna play Zelda. I think that's it.
Right, I had one more. Tevia wanted to know about my opinions on the new X-Men comics being released. So Marvel announced a whole slew of X-Men comics that are coming out because, hey, I guess they aren't mad at Fox anymore. Iceman is getting his own book. Cable is getting his own book. Jean Grey is getting her own book.
Damn.
There's going to be 2 main X-Men titles, X-Men Blue and X-Men Gold. So I guess that means they went to the same high school as us. Our high school colors are blue and gold. Generation X and Weapon X. And it's all going to be under the Resurrection banner. Get it? Resurrection.
That's so clever. I can't believe it.
I don't know. Hopefully they're good. I mean, I don't know if like Iceman, Cable, and Jean Grey are, capable of holding up their own solo series. Weapon X might be cool, if they bring back the Weapon X program and like there's new Weapon X's.
Weapon X's is
Generation X. That was like a big deal back in the day when it came out. Hopefully this continues that. And then X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue. This harkens back to in the 90s when there were 2 X-Men team. So hopefully like you'll have one like local team and then like an international team or something like that. Hopefully they make the 2 teams different enough that you want to pick, one book over the other. Like what they're doing with SmackDown and Raw.
SmackDown and Raw?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They split the roster, so there's half the wrestlers on Raw and half on SmackDown.
I thought there was a wrestling comic.
No, and there's 2. Well, that's coming in January. I will be talking about that when it comes out because it sounds great.
You know what? While we're here, real quick, we're ending. That's it.
Okay, that's it. No more questions.
I just wanted to show that Sony announced third-party controllers that look pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I used to have the Razer Onza, which is an awesome controller for Xbox. Damn it, there it is. Now it's the Razer Raiju, and this other one that I don't care about.
Yeah.
I hope data passes over the wire because that makes a world of difference when you play, online games or competitive games. I think I hit a button, but no, I think it has 2 extra bumpers that you can assign, just like the Razer Onza did. And I'm assuming it has adjustable.
It has a hair trigger switch.
This is pretty much a pro controller for
Sony
or an elite controller.
Yeah,
because we've been dying for Sony to make an elite controller.
There is it's called the PlayStation Elite controller. It's not made by Sony, and I'm pretty sure it's like a no-name company.
It looks like garbage.
Yeah, but like it does have the modular like buttons and stuff. You can swap them out.
I did see that, but
I think it's crap.
Razer. I trust, except that my Onza broke after like 3 months, but still, it was a good 3 months.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
All right.
We're done. We're out of here, guys. Thank you for being here. I will be streaming Drawing the Thumbnail in about an hour. I absolutely need coffee. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the Keurig cups. I'm going to go out. I'm going to buy some Keurig cups.
All right.
Buy this shirt while you're at it. Link is in the description of this video. That we will be pushing this shirt all the way through November.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Don't forget to listen to this on iTunes,
SoundCloud, and Google Play.
If you missed it,
tell your friends to subscribe and rate us 5 stars on all those services because it helps us out with placement. And of course, you can always check out our regularly scheduled videos every Tuesdays and Wednesdays right here, youtube.com/WolfDen.
Don't forget to use the hashtag WolfDenLive. We'll talk to you. Thank you guys very much, and we'll see you in a week. Goodbye.
Bye.